Cool. Okay, so Coriolis, Mercy of the Icons campaign, specifically Emissary Lost. Part 1. We just made characters for this using a hack of Coriolis and Blades called The Dark Between Stars by Darren. And we are on Gauntlet Hangouts. And you should come play Gauntlet games with us by going to gauntlet-rpg.com and going to Gauntlet RPG on Patreon to check us out. So a quick Cats concept. This is billed as Arabian Nights in Space, which means like if you're buying different things in this game, it's all very like, it has the same things that you think a sci-fi would have, but it's all geared towards non-Western concepts. For instance, money is burr or beer. It's looks like beer, but it's burr. Or it looks like burr, but it's beer. And let's see. So it's sci-fi, Arabian Nights in Space, non-Western flavored, lots of cool armor and things like that. All of the characters are going to be on Coriolis Station. I'm going to be sticking to the module pretty closely because I have no choice if we want to play it, basically. It's pretty much on rails, at least for the beginning. So we're going to try to see how this hack goes along with this thing. Our aim is we already made characters, and we're going to jump into the action. Tone is something I'm open to for everybody. Does anyone have a specific tone that they're interested in? Is this going to be gonzo or taking the setting and characters quite seriously along with the icons and stuff like that? What tone are people interested in? Rich? Or
I will never choose gonzo.
Okay, sounds good. Sarah?
Same.
So non-gonzo, okay. Sam?
Yeah, I'd like to. This is the sort of, this game is about the setting in a lot of ways, and I'd like to explore that and take it seriously.
Cool. Okay. That's good with me and kind of what I was hoping for, so good. Safety tools, we are going to be using the X card, so if anything pops up where people are uncomfortable, you can just go X on the screen or type X in the chat, or even just say like, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. Let's go with something else. I am not familiar with the things this setting is grounded in. So if other people are and they raise their hand, I'll defer to you on some things. I'm not sure how well this setting is written towards those things, but I'm led to believe that it's reasonably okay, and we probably won't be stumbling into cultural things that will be weird, but we'll see. We'll work together to not be weird in space. So let me just get my document out here. My screens. Okay. Cool. Let's introduce the characters and then jump in. Rich, do you want to start, please?
I'll be happy to. I'm playing Samir Kanan. Samir grew up in the slums of the conglomerates on Kua and escaped the slums by joining the Legion. But then one day he saw something, a massacre that he could not handle, and he ran. He went AWOL from the Legion, and from that point he has been trying to keep away from the Legion and ended up with these fine pilgrims and friends. Of course, they're all friends.
Cool. And Sam?
I am playing Kasim. He is a bounty hunter, but he's sort of, all the characters in this game are born under an icon, which sort of affects their fate and their lives. And his is this sort of weird, sinister icon called the Faceless, and he's been kind of having strange dreams, and otherwise been kind of like tormented by his divine patron, and he's embarked on this pilgrimage in the hopes of kind of figuring things out, having some kind of revelation. And we have now come to Coriolis Station, where the dome of the icons is.
Cool. And Sarah.
So, Rania Kuri, I'm not sure where she's from, but she is human, I believe. Sorry, not super familiar with the setting. She is an archaeologist, scientist, interested in history, but like also modern day things in like an anthropological sense. I think that's why she's come here. If there's someone claiming to be like an icon in person, that would be really interesting to her, and like the things that build up around that, like maybe people will come from all over and she'll be able to talk to a lot of people, maybe find some new things to bring back.
Cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There has been a lot of people coming to, well, there's been two things happening since the emissary, this alien person, has come to Coriolis and upset things. They're sitting on the council, which is a consortium of like all these different factions that decide what's going on and all that kind of stuff. But there are people who, once they have heard that the emissary has claimed to be the incarnation of and the embodiment of the judge, are making the pilgrimage to Coriolis to check it out. And then there's other people who have left Coriolis and kind of think this whole thing is sacrilege and bad, and have locked down their system. The Order of Pariah, for instance, are having none of this. So a group of pilgrims coming to Coriolis to see what's up makes a lot of sense. Okay. So, and yeah, for people who are mechanically in mind, the group concept that we're working with is pilgrims, but they have a group talent that differs because we like to have fun. Okay, anyway. So everybody is set. To help everybody remember the characters' names, let's go. I'll ask everybody to go to the top right corner in Roll20, go into My Settings, and under Display Name, if you could choose to rename your display name as your character name and pronouns, that would be perfect. And then that way, no matter if you're rolling or looking at your character sheets, you'll be able to look down and see who is who. Cool. Pronouns, Sarah? Oh, okay. Sounds good. Cool. Okay, awesome. So I have a starting scenario to read out to you, fellow players. So, situation. You're all at Madame Charie's chai house, and you have been contacted by someone named Noir, a friend of somebody's, probably the archaeologist, I'm assuming. They are a person who is fairly high up in the university, and they sounded like quite fearful and stuff like that. They wanted to meet you at the chai bar especially, and have set up a rendezvous for you. And then I am supposed to read this verbatim. So you are waiting for your friend at Madame Charie's chai house in the Neoptra. The chiming of the bells marking the beginning of the night watch is drowned out by the turmoil of the spaceport. Shouting merchants, crying children, conversations in dozens of foreign languages, and the high-pitched chatter of a group of Quan monkeys on the roof above you. Cheap speakers blast segments. Smash hit from the bulletin. The bulletin is like there's like little screens posted all over the place, and they're just kind of in like just constantly putting content out for you people to consume, not just news, but also apparently pop music and stuff like that. You can't make out the words, but the throbbing rhythms can be heard over the chaos around you. Pop music as an actual pulse in the heart of the horizon. Noir should have been here hours ago. In the brief recorded message sent to you, Nay had sounded worried about something, which these days isn't all that strange. The bulletin reports almost daily about unrest on the station, about disappearances, arson, and violence. People blame Algolon rebels, scheming Dragonites, and the increasing powerful syndicate Akbars. But above all others, they blame the ghost from Zine, which is the emissary. It's just like a way to refer to them. The mysterious emissary has, since its arrival almost a cycle ago, been accused of foul play more and more whenever something goes wrong aboard the station. You sit and watch the people in the waiting hall outside the chai house when suddenly a well-dressed woman pushes her way through the crowd, followed by angry curses. She spots you, looks around nervously, and starts running towards your table. This is not Noir, by the way. A group of guards break out of the crowd behind her, shouting at her to stop, and the woman lunges at you, grabbing hold of your clothes, overturning your bowls of sugared dates, which shatters to the floor. And she says, "You there, are you friends of Noir?" Breathing heavily. "Your friend, please, you have to help." And behind her, you see a group of guards, which I have ripped out of the book to show you a picture of, because they actually look pretty cool. Oh, there they are.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah. And I'll screen share it so that people watching don't get peeked. All right, so there's the guards, and this is the layout of where you are at the moment. And these people are angrily, excuse me, shoving their way past to try to get to her, and she's begging you for help. So I'll ask you all what you would like to do, and then we'll proceed with the scene from there. So, Rich, what is Samir doing?
Samir is torn because, of course, he would like to help a friend of Noir, but his ship. Are these station guards?
Yeah, they're dressed like them. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna stand up and maybe get ready to run with her if need be.
Cool. What about Raina?
Well, if I piss off the guards and like the government of this place is going to make it really hard to do my work. But also this could be my work. And I know the person that she came here to like as a contact. So yeah, when names, when Samir stands up, I think I take her wrist and look for a way out.
Cool. And what about Kasim?
I'm on this pilgrimage because I'm waiting for something to happen to change my life, to show me a path. I'm waiting for fate to come knocking, and here it is. So I think that the situation will be helped by darkness, like my patron. So I'm going to shoot out the light.
Oh, cool. Okay. Interesting. So this might be like a setup action for the other people who are going to be fleeing. If that is, Samir, have you decided yet or not? Or are you still on the cusp of decision?
Well, no, he stood and he kind of interposed himself, looking like he would run if it looked like his friends would do the same. He's definitely not going to like whip out his carbine and start a fight in the middle of this public space against obvious security guards where it could be filmed, but helping her make a run for it, yeah, he'd be down for that as long as he's not leaving his friends behind her if they don't strongly object.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's get an action from Kasim blowing out the lights then. And this can be a setup action for your later leaving, perhaps.
What do I do?
Yeah. So if I'll treat this like Blades, because this is a Blades hack, you would choose the skill that you would be going with in order to get this done. And then I would give you a position effect and we would proceed from there. So you tell me what the relevant skill is you think you would be using.
Ranged combat.
That makes sense. So I think this is a risky situation with probably standard effect. We'll say that the lights are like probably connected and stuff like that, right? Like shooting one out would probably be like a cascading effect, like I don't know, or they're just really long, like for fluorescence or something like that, right? So remember that according to this hack, you can use your MP to get additional stuff here. You can get an additional die to your roll or an increased level of effect. And you're not incapacitated to these, so the other thing doesn't matter. Did you want to use MP at all?
Well, yeah, I might as well. We'll see how this works.
Sure. So you just decrease it by 1, and are you getting an extra die or?
Yeah, I'll get an extra die.
Cool. Okay. So I haven't used these sheets in a while. Let's see. The easiest way to do this on your sheet looks like under modifiers for positive, I would put your skill number and how do you roll?
Can I just roll a 2d6 and roll 20?
Yeah, you could do that. Sure. Cool. So you got a mixed result. So let's see. You can describe what it is you do, and then I'll introduce a complication from this.
Okay, so we'll say that there's like a lighting control panel or something that I'm gonna shoot out. Yeah, I do it quickly. I get up from my seat. I draw my gun, which I'm sure will in no way concern anyone, and I fire it off at something in the ceiling, and I hit, and the place is plunged into darkness.
Cool. Okay. Sounds good. So let's see. Yes. Okay. So the place is plunged into darkness. Yeah, the monkeys are very fraught with this. It goes into darkness, and as these people are approaching, they do a Samir. I think you're the one, since you're interposed. You see this. You see them kind of like do the touch of the helmet that does the futuristic, like putting it back into their armor type deal, right? They're all clean shaven, and they're yelling in Zini with a Fate accent over everybody, but you can tell. Actually, maybe I'll pose it as a question. How can you tell that these guards are not acting like the normal station security in this situation? What do they
Samir
do?
gets to answer that?
Yeah, Samir.
Okay, didn't want to step on anybody. I think that Samir, having been on station for a while, he knows that they have a 2x2 cover formation, and these guys are spread almost like side by side, which is completely not only bad form but dangerous. So that throws him in, and also the helmets look a little too new.
Yeah, sounds good. So you see this, and as they start approaching, one of the set of like there's pandemonium and people screaming and stuff like that. We'll say that like, well, you'll need a little bit of light to get out of here. So we'll say that like maybe the lights are like really intermittent. It's kind of like a rave in here or something like that, right? Where they keep going like on and off and on and off. Otherwise, I don't know how you're going to leave. But one of the customers make a break for like close to the lighting panel, there's a button that calls like the guards or whatever, right? And you can see that the person who goes for it is the person who owns this bar. What were they called? We'll say that it's Madame Shari herself goes for it, which in itself is kind of telling because they're supposed to be the actual guards, right? Can't. Yeah, no problem. I have not seen Bird Box, but I know that they're all running around blind.
According to Netflix, 45 million Americans have, or 45 million people have.
Yeah, but I'm in Canada.
Oh, there you go. I said Americans. I think it was just viewers, so maybe there are a few Canadians.
Right, yeah. Cool. Yeah, so it's clear that the patron herself does not believe that these guards coming are the real guards because she's called for ostensibly real guards to be coming. And Rainia, as you see this happening and the pandemonium breaks out and all this, as you look behind you, you see the woman who has not said her name yet. No. So you see a woman who's well dressed running towards, if you look at the map, she is running towards, what's it called? 17 here. I'm pulsating it for you. So she's making a break for it.
Okay, and this is the woman who ran up to us?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I thought I had like caught hold of her. Can I?
This is a complication. She like slips out of your grip and like starts running. So as a mixed result, this is what's happened. So what do you do?
Are there any other ways out of this place other than the front door?
Yes, so 18 is passenger elevators. I would not go towards number 7, guard point. I think those are the main exits that you would know about. Do you want to gather information to see if there's any other ulterior ways or something?
The elevators are fine, I think, but the guards came in from 17, yes?
Yes, or
Okay.
from...
Like the main entrance?
They came in from... I think it was 11, spaceport. So you are kind of like here. They came like this way and this way. And then 17 is where she is fleeing to.
Okay. Yeah, in this confusion, I want to try to run after her and say, like, there's nothing that way. Come, we have to go this way. And just, like, start pulling her back toward the elevators. Because it's the loading docks, the way she was running, yeah.
So what skill do you think this is that you're trying to apply to this situation?
I think force.
Okay.
Like, I'm not being particularly smooth about this.
Right.
I'm just pulling her.
And it's like you don't want her to like slip away again type deal, right? So there are some words, but it's mostly like, you're coming with me, right? Okay. I think if you're applying force to her, you would be getting... yeah, I think it's a risky standard. She's not the risk. The risk is the encroaching guards and more time being taken up and stuff like that.
Okay, so I have 1 in force, so that means I roll 1 die.
Unless you want to spend MP to get an additional die.
I've got MP to spare. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, you're the one with mucho. Everybody else is like 2, 3, right? Cool.
And to roll in,
I
roll
would just use
20,
the
it's-
chat. You just do a slash roll and then X D6. And we're looking for the highest result that you get. You got a 3, both bad outcomes. So what happens is you do grab her. So oh, I know. So you grab her, and you're saying these things, but there was that blaring music, and I think the pandemonium just makes it like even louder. People just start like, especially with the shotgun off, people are just like running in a whole bunch of different directions. You definitely have solid hold on her, but the guards are just like, they have like a basically a nice path straight towards you because the people are fleeing the way that she was fleeing as well, away from the guards.
Question.
Mhm.
Was there any mechanical benefit from my setup action?
Oh yeah, you succeeded at the setup, right? So you would, in Blades, what you would get is additional effect on the next roll, or it would be a choice of a better position or more effect, and it would be the choice of the person. So instead of having like a risky thing, you could have had a controlled position. So we'll say that's what happened, which downgrades the severity of the situation. Well, you failed, but if you have a higher position, the consequence is less bad, essentially. Okay, so I think you do you end up being able to like speak with her, and she keeps saying over, like, I guess it was just like a 1 second thing where you couldn't hear her, and she was like trying to say something over the speaker, and then it cuts out for a second and you hear what she says. And she says she's pointing at what's the thing? Oh, it's not on the map. There's a secret entrance exit out this way that she knows about, that are it's basically like she says if you move some of the sofas out, there's like a drainage ditch that goes down to the docks itself. And she keeps like pointing to the guards and pointing to this place, and I think she like gets fed up with your your like grip. You still have a grip on her, but she like goes over and kicks it aside and points to it. As that is happening, I think the guards are taking aim, though, Samir. So what is it that you want to do? Do you want to help an escape or take shots at these guys? Or
I now want to shoot things because I'm not the one to fire the first shot. Then they're not station guards, so it shoots them. It shoots them both.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, unless they're close enough for melee, I don't know, like how far away they are. So,
well, it can be. I'm up for like a Blades approach where it can be whatever you like. You could run at them with some melees, or you can.
oh, sweet! I'll throw some whatever this settings version of a napkin holder at them, and then charge forward and try to strike at them with my Dura knife.
Something that hold the dates. I mentioned that you.
Oh, the bowl of dates! Yeah, I'll fling the bowl of dates at them,
and then you can make an Indiana Jones quip at them. It's a perfect setup. So nice. I think you have a risky position, and I think it'll be standard effect. What is your goal with this, though? Is it like to kill them, cripple them, get away?
I cripple them and leave them behind for real station guards to, to deal with. So start with my melee combat of 2. Do I start with 2 dice? That doesn't affect the position. I start with 2 dice?
It's always whatever your skill is, yeah.
Okay.
So you start with 2, and then you can push yourself, and somebody could also help you if they went in on this action, but they spend MP to do so. It costs them mind points.
I think I will spend them I'll spend one of my 3 to get a third die, and then I'll roll 3d6.
Yes.
5, 3, and 4. So 5's the best die.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, describe what happens, and then I'll introduce the consequence. You do manage to do what you set out to do.
Sweet. I do that.
Okay.
Thwack them, and then I stab a guy with a Dura knife in the, like, right under here. It's not enough to kill, but he's definitely not going to be firing any weapons unless he has armor and other stuff happens.
Cool. Let's see here. Just so that all happens just as you're like looking past them. You see the real guards tentatively making their way forward. It's instead of like what you would expect with them rushing forward, they're suspiciously moving quite slowly towards you instead, as they see the commotion that's going on and stuff like that. One's just like peeking around the corner maybe, and the response time is quite lacking, we'll say. Consequence. Oh, yeah. So what is, as soon as that happens, there's like the person who kind of was a scout for the real police that are tentatively approaching, takes a shot and aims at one of the fake officers and lands a blow, and it's like a stormtrooper type situation where there's like the laser burns or whatever on their armor, you know, when stormtroopers get hit. There's no gore, it's just burn marks essentially. And then the matriarch of this place, Madame Shari, is grabbing a like essentially, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like a shotgun. It's like a fancy laser shotgun that she's leveling at you. Kasim, what is it that you want to do next? It looks like Renya is about to leave, maybe? Are you going to follow her?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to just take a space shotgun blast to the face. So, like, how exposed am I to this? And what happens if I guess I could just take the leave option, and depending on how I roll, will determine whether something bad happens to me. Is that
sure? Well, mechanically, I should note that basically, as a consequence of something, you might take the blast, right? But in terms of dealing with the situation, you might do it however you want, based on the skill.
Got it. How close is this woman and her shotgun to me?
We'll say like 15, 20 feet away, something like that. She had to go behind like a bar looking thing to grab it, right?
All right. Well, if we have a way out, I'm gonna skedaddle.
Okay. Let's see. So, do you have a skill that is applicable in this situation?
Dexterity.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's just an actual skill. It's not an attribute?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Seems like they might have reached you out that way. Okay.
And then I only have 1 MP left, but now I'm being shot by a shotgun. But the consequences are probably worse. But I'm just gonna roll one die.
Okay, sounds good. Is anybody wanting to help in this situation?
Sure, I'll help.
Sure. So
spend the second of 3 mind points.
Yeah, and then just to color the whole rest of the scene too, what would Renya be doing too?
If it's still at all chaotic in here, kind of trying to get lower, so she can kind of like hide in among the people fleeing in the opposite direction that they're moving, but also like trying to catch the other guy's eyes and just wave them toward the hatch.
Oh yeah, it's like the the Star Wars thing, right? Like, just fall into the Sarlacc pit. It's fine. Cool.
Sound
Okay.
work, guys.
Okay. Okay, so you got a mixed result. Sounds good. Okay.
Oh, wait, so Samir needs to roll as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay, so this is without the help die?
Or
Yeah,
should I roll?
man. I've spent 33% of all my MP. You better use it.
Oh, sorry. You want me to roll that? I was gonna let you roll it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so the highest is 5 still, even though you spent 33% of your reserve. Cool. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, so I think you two can make it out just fine, and the consequence will become clear after. So is everybody essentially following her, this mysterious woman, into the? It's not a Sarlacc pit. It's like a legit place to get to the other the place.
We have to, so yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to, but it feels like the only option.
Well,
I'd rather go to the elevators, but
she might know what she's doing. I don't know.
yeah, I don't want to lose her either.
Right, but nobody's sticking around. Everybody wants to leave,
She's
right?
got a tattoo of a white rabbit, guys. It's cool.
Yeah. She wants to tell you what the Matrix is. Cool. Okay, so we get a dramatic exit of y'all going through this place that leads to the same place that she was going to leave in number 17, the loading docks, but it's like a circuitous route out that only people around here would know about. And what the consequence is a person rounds their way around the corner, who I will show you a picture of. This guy. There's like a what it looks like is like red lasers scanning around the corner. And as this person rounds the corner, you see that it's coming out of like a cybernetic piece. It's this fella. And the thing that he's wearing, the little like clip on his side there, is the thing that scans. And as you leave, there's like a what would it's basically like a flash. Like he's got a picture of you all, and he's like, saved it to his cybernetic piece there. And then the screen goes black as you like disappear into these ducts. And then let's take another let's say 5-minute break here, the last break. Does that sound good? Come back at 21. Cool. Okay, cool. So, as you make your way through this place, it's essentially like a maze of tunnels that connect up to what is called Stevedore Central. So you come out, she takes you along this winding path. It's getting smellier and smellier, as if all the like detritus and when the ventilation system doesn't work in Coriolis, all of this smell that you are now making your way to goes up into the vents and other people had to smell it too. So you're not going to like a lovely place. Eventually it comes out to a spaceport loading zone where you see like all of these people in like mech whatchamacallit, like loading systems like in Avatar where they have the mechs with the huge claws that they use to unload and load things. It looks like that with all these people maneuvering around. It's very like not maintained well. The lights are naturally flickering here, and the panel hasn't even been shot. These people are just kind of like working in really crappy conditions and doing menial labor. And eventually she leads you to a room that she has procured in something called a coffin hotel, which it does not tell me what it is, but I guess it's probably like where you rent really small rooms.
Yeah, they're like, it's basically just the bed.
Oh, okay. There you go. So she has a small room, I guess, with something like that. And she turns to you and finally says, like, she's sweating and scared and, says, thank you for saving me. And I'll show you a picture of her.
So are we all sitting on this bed?
Sure. I guess so. If it's a coffin hotel. That's what she looks like, scared, I guess. And her name is Althea. Yes, Althea. Althea. Althea, right? Yeah. But yeah, she's like winded and she's panting and she's looks like she hasn't like ate or slept in a while. And she says, thanks so much for saving me. I thought I was done for. I could swear they've been following me everywhere. I look over my shoulder and I see their bald heads. Or shaved heads.
You said she was dressed fancy?
Pardon?
You said she was dressed fancy?
Trust fancy?
Dressed fancy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See I guess that's what dressed fancy looks like in this setting. She's got nicer clothes, I guess, but is in a coffin hotel.
Kasim says, it was nothing. The icons sent you to us.
That must be true.
Icons nothing. You said you...
Cheers!
Worst pilgrim ever.
Hey, I never said I believed in it. Sorry, I've forgotten his name. Noir?
Noir, yeah.
Noir. You said you knew Noir.
Only for the past cycle or so. We came together in our mutual need. Tell me, has it been a long time since you've been to Coriolis Station? Do you know the changes that have been brought from the emissary who's come here?
This is the first time any of us have been here.
Well, then you should know that there's an illness, or so they claim, an illness is spreading among us, and some of us have been able to do special things. She's talking about mystics. And she like, maybe to demonstrate, she like floats something telekinetically and she's like, this is my gift. And then she turns, she's like, my curse. And she basically, what's been happening though is she says these people that have caught this illness have started disappearing one by one in the last couple weeks. Nor was one of them. He was a friend and a fellow I guess we'll just call them mystic. Yeah, there's not a word for it yet, but we found each other in mutual need. The station people have been hunting us, and we disappear. We don't know where we go. I'm pretty sure they just kill us. And now Nora's gone too. She sobs. What do people say?
I feel like we should get on our ship and fly away.
I'm sorry about your friend. I say not to. I said Urania. Were you too close?
We had gotten closer.
Oh no, I'm not asking her.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of his work. He had heard of mine. We met for drinks when we were in the same city. That's the extent of it. I didn't know him well, but it is a loss to our circles, to our community. And I'd like to figure out what happened to him if I can. And this, looking at the woman, this is interesting.
Like the mystic
Yeah,
thing? The force.
Yes. This must be why my patron sent me on this journey. Watching you do that, it's like being in a waking dream. This is where we will meet our fate. Notice I didn't say the name of my patron.
Because of some shade in a comment. Yeah. She says Nor was one of the good ones who was helping me to find other people like us and shelter them. About a week ago, he contacted me about someone named Aram Jaffa who was working down here. I got this room hoping to find him, but when I went to Noir's place, there seemed like there had been a struggle and some noises. I had a comm that he had given me, but when I fled, I must have dropped it. I had no way to contact him, but the last thing he spoke of was that he had contacted friends to come, and so I just desperately fled it. And luckily, you were there. Truly, it is the icons.
Question for you. When we got that message, did it seem urgent?
Like the meeting, you mean?
Yeah.
No. It wasn't like it was urgent and like, hey, as soon as you can you show up? It wasn't like, I'ma die. You know? So like 7 out of 10 urgency scale, guess. More than lukewarm.
And you say Nora could do similar things.
Yes.
How is this illness spreading?
Nobody knows. It only began when the emissary got here about a year ago, essentially. But more and more people are being afflicted. Mine cost me my fame.
Your fame?
Yes, I was on a game show. Kind of, it's basically like America's Got Talent or something. And when the judges in the balcony were being crude, obnoxious, and giving me a poor score, I reached out with my mind and I moved the balcony slightly, and they did not take kindly to me. And now I am being sought after by fake guards and real guards, every guard.
No doubt that was the will of the icons as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't respond.
Oh, nice. Okay. I guess she shakes it off and she's just like, that. Regardless what you think of me, if you were truly a friend of Noir, you would find out what had happened. If he was going to arrange a meeting with Aram, I believe he said that it was in Al Said's Emporium. And Noir is now no longer missing. Perhaps this person is also in danger. If you care about those with the illness, of course, she says pointedly.
Of course, and I will go. Will you two come?
Of course.
I must pray on this to contemplate the right course. Something strange has been set in motion here.
Rania rolls her eyes. Faith in the old civilizations is one thing.
Rania, how can you be like this when you see a miracle right in front of your face?
You think this is brought by not the gods. What's the word we're using?
Icons?
Yeah, the
Icons? Yeah. You think this is a miracle?
I think this is something we don't understand.
Everything has an explanation.
And sometimes
the explanation is it's the icons?
I see then that I am outvoted.
Well, perhaps this this pilgrimage will have meaning for you too someday.
Okay, so do we know what this place is that she's saying?
And the Emporium, yeah, everybody knows where it is, and she can tell you where to find. Well, you probably know where Noir's place would be anyway, as like a friend. He had a place in the student barracks near the Academy Tube stop in the student district.
And when is this meeting supposed to take place?
Does not say. I guess
today.
Yeah, that would be easy. I guess it would be today at Elside's Emporium, a well-known tobaccery.
Like for tobacco or food?
Yep.
All right, I want to. Getting a lot of background noise here.
Yeah, I see your pointed stares.
But yeah, I want to go to the door and like turn to
Althea?
Or no, Kasim and Samir, and just say, if the gods will allow you to come immediately, we should do that.
So soon. Very well.
And you should stay here.
It might take a while to walk there if you want to think about it.
Do we have another mode of transportation?
It looks like there is a tram type thing set up. They're called tubes, but I'm assuming it's like, trams that wind around and stuff. But you could walk if you like. I don't know.
Whatever the normal way people get places is.
Mm-hmm. And she says, you know where to find me. Please don't tell anyone where I am. It's taken me ages to find a safe place. Yada, yada, yada.
Do people have phones here? Like, how do people contact each other remotely?
Just, they have comms, yeah. And basically they have like a phone number to that comm.
I actually have a comm as part of my tools. Do you guys?
I think everyone will have a comm.
I think it is good if we can talk to each other.
Yeah, we'll just say everyone has a comm, just so it's easier.
All right, so I'm gonna exchange comm numbers with this woman.
But she doesn't have a comm. She had one and then lost it close to Dwar's place.
Off the grid.
Well, she wants a comm probably, but she lost hers along with the one that Noir gave her, and she thinks she lost it close to Noir's place.
I see. Is there some kind of like find my iPhone space? Find my iPhone.
No, they're meant to be secure devices. You could go to the cops though, I guess, and see if they could trace it. They could probably look up Noir.
Oh, I'm good at technology.
Oh, okay. Sure, we can say that that's a thing.
I also have a talent called Gearhead.
Oh, what's that do?
I have no idea what that does. It just
okay.
is on the list.
Let's see.
With no explanation.
Gearhead. You love tinkering with gear and equipment. With a successful technology test, you can repair an item or jerry-rig a one-use contraption for a specific test. The number of 6s on your roll determine the gear's bonus of the item.
Is that worth doing, do we think?
Yeah, sure. If you can figure out how to try to track this phone, we can just go pick it up, make our lives easier.
Okay, so I think I've got a bag I always carry with me, just with stuff in it, and I take like this whole thing and just dump it out on the floor and start picking things and putting them together. Probably like attaching them to my comm in some way because I need a screen. And so I roll technology.
Yes.
And then if this is important, I think I want to spend an MP as well.
Might as well. Everybody's burning through their MP, right?
My highest 2.
Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay. So that's no good. Let's see. Oh, I know. So I think what happens is you get it. You manage to like you're trying to figure out where it is, right? I think what happens is you get like a quick like blip that shows up and then it goes away, meaning that not that your technology has failed, but that somebody is suppressing the signal as soon as it's like turned on, essentially. It's like somebody noticed that you did find your iPhone and then they turned off find your iPhone.
Someone has it.
Yes.
Did you get any kind of location ping, or they shut off before we got anything?
Yes, you got one too. Oh, yeah. So you got one close by, actually. So it's in like Stevedore Central. I can't show you a map, but it's like around here, which kind of lines up with what she was saying, right? She came down here because she knew the buddy was a Stevedore for a ram. So maybe something happened in conjunction with that or something.
Okay.
It was close by.
Did I get a general direction? I know I failed, so I don't feel like I should get crossed or anything.
Yeah, like I think it would be similar to Find My iPhone, where it's like only good within, like a certain like 10 or 15 feet or whatever, but it would be like it's around this area and to like an arbitrary direction.
Who is the stevedore? I thought that Noor wanted to meet Aram.
Yeah.
So who's the stevedore?
She came to meet Aram, who is a stevedore.
Got it. So it means that Aram might have it.
Might,
and then
yeah.
we'll just meet, but we can just meet him at his place later, assuming that he does.
Yeah. The meeting is for today, ostensibly.
Got it.
Cool. We are getting pretty close to time. Do we want to call it there, maybe?
I think it's a good break point.
That's
Unless you guys want to push on.
What's that?
Sorry, I was saying it's a decent break point unless you guys want to push on.
Are people good with that? Yeah? Okay, cool. Okay, so we still do XPs. Okay, did you participate in this session? You get 1 XP. That's pretty good. Did you overcome a difficult challenge to help your crew to reach its current goal? Yes, you had some challenges. Did you put yourself or your crew at risk because of your personal problem and or scars? Personal problem and or scars. I don't think so. That'd be like the vice thing, I think is what it's going for. Did you learn something new about yourself or another PC? I think everybody learned a lot about each other because they didn't know each other. So everyone can take 1 for that. Did you sacrifice or risk something for another PC? And you get an XP. Did anybody do that?
Does MP count?
Yeah. I think if you put MP on the line to help somebody else, it would make sense.
Done it.
Yeah. And then did you act in accordance with your icon, which is something that you dictate anyway, as far as I'm aware. So maybe you did.
Well, I'm definitely trying to do what my icon wants. Ambiguous as that may be, so I'm going to take an XP for that.
Sure. Yeah, I think you're putting that in the fiction enough too. So
just realized I should have tried to Jedi mind trick that woman to follow me.
Yeah. Well, she was pretty willing about helping, so you know more than you know. And I guess that's it. I guess your reputation can be modified as well, depending on if you're influencing Coriolis station in the setting on some stuff. If anything, I think your reputation would go down because y'all got caught by the Popo with his cybernetic vision thing. But I still have to figure out how reputations is working. I did find, however, that remember we thought that it would be like really high reputation. I saw that in the notes that it says reputation from plebeian or stationary is halved, actually. So it's weird that privileged wouldn't be, but yeah. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense actually. So yeah, I have a few things to bring back to Darren to clarify, but overall, I think that's good. All right, so I'm going to stop the broadcast so we can do quick stars and wishes if that's cool with people. Yeah, people have a little bit of time.